video, we're going to continue adding and subtracting, but we're going to throw in some complex fractions with this as well. So you want to simplify your complex fractions if you can right away. If you think about it, I'm doing division before my subtraction, so I'm kind of following order of operations here. So remember division, this is the same as 4 over x plus 2 times, right, you flip the second one, 3 over x minus 2, and then we have minus 3 over x minus 2. So I'm going to do the multiplication before the subtraction. So I've got 12 over x plus 2x minus 2 minus 3 times over x minus 2. So I need a common denominator now to do this subtraction. So my common denominator is going to be x plus 2x minus 2. So I got to multiply the top and bottom by x plus 2 here. So we have 12 minus 3 times x plus 2 over our common denominator, x plus 2x minus 2. So distributing that negative 3, I have 12 minus 3x minus 6. Which is negative 3x plus 6 over x plus 2x minus 2. All right, and I can factor out a negative 3, so I've got x minus 2 over x plus 2, x minus 2. I can cancel my x minus 2, so totally simplified, we got negative 3 over x plus 2. I believe today on your assignments, you guys, you're also going to be asked to identify which values x cannot be. So we've done this before with multiplying and dividing. So remember, there's actually a few places you want to check. You want to check right from the beginning. What could x not be? So here I had a 3 on the bottom and I had a x plus 2 on the bottom of a fraction. We can see that here as well. So what would make my denominator equal 0? Well, if x was negative 2 here, that would be undefined. If x was positive 2 here, that would be undefined. So x could not equal positive or negative 2. Then we did some simplifying. This was my common denominator. Those same values are what would make these 0. And then when I simplified, negative 2 is still something that would make this 0. So those are the two values that x could not be. Even though it's simplified out, if I had had 2 from the very beginning, I couldn't have even done these operations. So it's still important that I list all those values that make my expressions undefined, even if it cancels out later. Okay, in this one, remember something to the negative 1 is 1 over that value. So this is really x minus y over 1 over x minus 1 over y. Okay, now this one I have, when I simplify thinking order of operations, I want to simplify like the numerator and denominator first if I can before doing the division. So I actually do want to do this subtraction first. So I need a common denominator. It's going to be just multiplying those two together. So xy is my common denominator. So I'm going to multiply this one by y over y and this one by x over x. So I have y over yx minus x over yx. Okay, so now that this is one fraction, now I can write this as a multiplication problem. So this was kind of my big fraction bar here. So it was x minus y, maybe over 1 if you want to think about that, times, flip this second one. Okay, multiply straight across. So we're going to get, I'm going to switch those just because I kind of like writing xy first. Okay, now I could distribute here, that's fine. This is okay, or I'm actually going to factor out a negative 1. So these are super, super similar. If I factor out a negative 1, then I get negative y plus x, which equals xy over x minus y So in doing that, I can now cancel those, and then xy divided by -1 is negative xy. So when you see that are super similar, if you factor out a -1, you can switch the order, and then you'll be able to cancel. Okay, a couple more here, guys. Okay, this one is another one just like that last one we did, where I have these negative exponents, so I'm going to write them as fractions here. So I have 1 over x plus 1 over y, and then 1 over x squared minus 1 over y squared. So I'm going to simplify my numerator and denominator first, and then do the division. So common denominator, multiply by y, multiply by x. This one looks a lot like that last one. So on the top, I'm going to have y plus x over xy. And then on the bottom, my common denominator is going to be x squared, y squared. So I got to multiply by y squared, x squared, x squared. So I have on the top y squared minus x squared over x squared, y squared. Okay, so now I'm going to flip the second one and change it to a multiplication problem. So I have y plus x over xy times, flip the second one, we have x squared, y squared over y squared minus x squared. Okay, so this will do some canceling, but I can actually factor y squared minus x squared. That's the difference of squares, so I'm going to write that out down here. Okay, square root of y squared is y, square root of x squared is x, so I could rewrite it like this. So now these can cancel. This x cancels with one of those x's. This y cancels with one of those y's. So here's what we have left. We have xy left over y minus x. Okay, last example here. If I can get it to clear, there we go. Okay, I'm going to simplify my numerator here first. So I'm going to multiply this one by 2. So I'm going to get 2 plus 1 over 2x, or 3 over 2x on the top. Okay, I'm going to flip the second one and multiply. So we've got x minus 2 over x plus 4. All right, so multiply here. So I've got 3 times x minus 2 over 2x times x plus 4. All right, you can leave it like this, or you can distribute. Either one is fine. Nothing is canceling here. So I'm just going to actually leave it just like this. I'm also going to include x, what x could not be. So right from the beginning, my denominators are x and 2x. Right there, x cannot be 0. Okay, here x could not be 2. And here, because technically this is also in the bottom of this denominator, so anything that makes this whole fraction 0 cannot be included. So -4 would also be true. Then we simplify, we see here x could not be 0, x could not be -4. Those are included here. Okay? All right, guys, that's it for this video. Thanks for watching.